Hi everyone, I am Ne. I am a Cameroonian. I won the DV lottery and I will be leaving Cameroon for the United States of America. So this video I will be sharing like how my journey all began. So thank you guys so much and yes, keep watching. Welcome back to my channel. I am Ne, a Cameroonian content creator, and today I'll be telling you guys about my relocation story to the United States of America as a DV lottery winner and the documents needed to be able to travel. But guys, if you have not subscribed, please do me the honor of subscribing, do me the honor of liking and sharing. And from the depth of my heart, thank you all for supporting me this far. So guys, today I'll be telling you guys about my relocation story. So I traveled to the United States on the 23rd of December 2019. But guys, before then, like preparations had already been in motion till the day I was traveling. Guys, within that week, like within the last week to prior to the day I was to travel, my mom and I started doing preparations. We went shopping to gather some food stuff. We got some fried corn, some chips, some gari, like a lot of food stuff, and yeah, and some edibles, like dry vegetables as well. Like we did a lot and a lot of shopping. And guys, also one thing I also want to say is if you're going, you're going to a new country, somebody else will be hosting you for a period of time before you even get a job. Please make sure you go with food because you cannot go into a host house or you cannot go into someone's house empty-handed. They're going to be feeding you for that one month or 1 week, depending on how long you stay at home. So try as much as possible to always go with something. Even if it's bread, just go with anything. Don't go empty-handed. So yes, my mom and I, we did that preparation. We had gathered so many things. We parceled them so that air should not get into them or get them, and air could not get into them and get them bad. Another thing I also want to make mention is before traveling or leaving the country, make sure you know the season to the country it is you're going to, because I was traveling in the heart of winter, so I was to get here like during like the winter season or so. So I had to get like my winter gear. I got like some winter jackets back home. I got some socks, and yeah, guys, trust me, they were really, really cheap. If they were really, really cheap as compared to me buying them here. So I got them from Cameroon. So yeah, guys, like there was just a lot, like a lot was going on through that 1 week, like a lot of emotional roller coaster. My mom was so down. She was not happy. You know what it means? Like your only child leave the country. You don't know where they're going to. They don't have family on the other side. You don't know what it is they're going to be facing, So she was really, really down. Like I really felt so bad. But guys, I felt so bad because she was down. Not that I felt so bad because I was leaving the country. For me, my emotions were rather I was indifferent. I was anxious because it's like when you're about starting a new job or you're going to a new place. I was anxious because I did not know where I was going to. I did not know what life had in store for me on the other side. Like so many things were running through my mind, but in the back of my mind, I was just like, God, everything is in your hands, take control. Like, guys, it has still not clicked to me that everything that was happening to me. That's why when so many people came on the other video and were like, oh, how, just checking my mic. So that's why when so many people came on the other video and like, oh, how did the guy get your picture? How did the guy get your picture if you said it was done 3 years ago before? How did he get your updated picture? I was like, guys, I have no idea. Like, I really don't know. Like, this just happened to me. Like, I don't know. That's why it did not make sense to me. It did not click. Yeah. Even then, even with all the preparations going on and everything going on, like it had still not made sense to me. So that another person was like, another commenter was like, oh, these are just like made up stories. I don't even have time to make stories. So I don't even have time for myself, rather than, oh, I don't have time for myself. Talk less of time to use to make stories for you. Hell no, I don't have that kind of time. So even to me, it had not clicked. Anyways, that aside. So we gathered all those things, and 3 days to 3 days prior to when I was to travel, like my entire family gathered. We had a family brunch, like we prayed, my aunt's giving advice. Make sure when you travel to this country, you have to be your best. Remember where you're coming from, remember your home, remember the values we've instilled in you. Don't forget where you're coming from, be a good girl. Like there were lots and lots of prayers. I'm just so happy because those prayers and all those words of encouragement, those were the words that carried me out through the 7 months, through the one, I mean, like for the one, through 7 months of my first months here in the States, because it was hard. It was really, really hard. So I thank God for those prayers and those words of encouragement. And this is another thing, like another important thing I also wanted to talk about, like the documents needed to travel. Guys, for you, for me, because I don't know how like it works for other people. For me, this is what I carried along. So I took my passport that had the stamp of the US visa. I took my yellow fever card. I took my flight artillery that had like my flight ticket on. I took that envelope that we're not supposed to open. I took that envelope along, and yeah, those were the things I used to travel. And what else, guys? That was just it. Yeah, that was just it. Those were just the things I used. That's why I said, talking from my own point of view, that was what I used to travel. So on that morning, we got up, we had like a family breakfast again, like just spending those last few hours with family. And this is the advice they always give, that if you've never traveled, I don't think it's only, I don't think it matters if it's that, I don't think it matters if you're a first time traveler. They always say when you're going to the, I mean, if you're to travel, and that you're going like international, make sure you get to the airport 3 hours before your time, before the time your plane takes off. So that morning we had to get to the airport very early, but that was not really the case because my family, like everybody was crying here, crying there. Like I felt really, really bad, but there was nothing I could do to help them. I just had to tell them that they should be strong, that I'm going to be okay, that God is going to take charge because it's God that has brought us this far. So they should just, the only thing I need from them are prayers and the words of encouragement. So that morning still we prayed, we broke bread, and yes, I left. Let say I left. So the family, we all left to the airport. When we got to the airport, we had to go to like the custom check so they could check what I have in my bag. And then when they're done checking, we carried my bag so they could get like the weight. And guys, we overpacked. Like most of the things we carried were really, really heavy. So they had to take out some of them. They had to take out some of my food items. I was so mad, guys, because like I like the things I really carried. I know I was not going to see them in a long time or eat them in a long time. So I was really mad, but you know, it is what it is. So we had to make all my luggages to be all my luggage to have like the 23, is it 23, 23 kilograms. Yes, all of them had to be like 23. Yeah, all of them had to be 23 each. So after all that was done, my luggage, like I after all that was done, I went to the area where I had to get my boarding pass. So I got there, I got my boarding pass. They still took the weight of my luggage, and then yeah, since everything was correct now, to send them through to go to the plane. So this was when I had to go see my family and tell them goodbye. Guys, it was really hard. Like my mom cried and cried and cried. As I've always said, I'm an only child, so I really, to some extent, I could understand where where she was coming from, you know. So I went and I hugged them, but it was really brave, guys. I did not really spend all the time crying. Nope, like it was really brave because I knew for a fact that if I would have stayed there, would have been crying, I would have not made anything. It would have not changed anything. Like it would have made me feel more down. And I was the one traveling. I was going to a place that I know nobody. I have no idea of what it is over there. So I really made it brief. I just hugged them and I turned and I zoomed into the airport. And yeah, and that was it. So when I got in there, when I got into the airport, I got I got my hand luggage and my carry-on. So they did their own checks, they checked everything that I had in my bag, and yeah, and that was it. So later there we went to like where you have to show your boarding pass and then get your stamps and all that. So all that was done. So finally I got into the plane. Guys, when I finally got into the plane, that was when all the 9 months, like the processing time, everything that happened, that was when it started making sense, because it was not making sense. Like with the passport, getting the visa, being in the embassy did not even make sense. Like none of, like the entire process did not make sense till that moment when I was sitting in that plane. I was like, wow, Father in heaven, so this is happening to me. Like this is the plan you had for me. I was really, really happy. I mean, like I was happy we did. I was happy, like, God, wow, so this is it. Because like so many people have been asking this channel, like, how did I do it? This is a made up story. That's why I said, even to me, right, up till this day, it still has not made sense to me. But this is something that happened to me. Like another person said, this is too good to be true. I tell you, my brother, even me myself, it is too good to be true, but it happened to me as well. So when we got on that plane, I traveled with Ethiopia Airlines. Like I had the best, is it the best customer service or what? But the flight hostesses or flight attendants were the best. They made sure they attended to our every need. If you needed this, they gave you. If you needed that, they gave you. Like it was it was really, really a good flight from Cameroon to Ethiopia. So when we left Ethiopia, I mean, because my plane transited at Ethiopia, we had to go get on to another plane. So like the checks in Ethiopia, guys, it's crazy. So in Ethiopia, we had to take off our shoes, we take off our belt, we take off our watches, we take off like all of those things. And guys, like this is one of the reasons why I hate airport. Like you're always in a rush, like like you're always running. So we had to get all of that checked on. The took like after everything was checked and correct, you had to get your stuff. You hurriedly wear them up so that your plane does not leave you. So we wore all I let me not say we. I wore mine, I wore everything. I started running, looking for like where the gate in which I'm to go to, because like you have gates. And so I was looking for the gate, my gate number. And so I was running around the airport. I finally found it. And then it's good for me, like when I was not leaving immediately. I had to stay there for an hour. So I waited there for an hour. But the bad thing about it was like there was no Wi-Fi, so it wasn't the best. It wasn't my best experience at the airport. I could not contact my family, so there was no Wi-Fi there. But anyways, from there we left and we had a layover at Dublin. We stayed at Dublin for an hour, but we did not go out of the plane. We just sat on the plane, and I was happy because that transit from, is it Dublin to the United States, I was the only one sitting on my row, because for economic, yeah, also I use economic. Like you have like three, is it 3 seats? Yeah, had like 3 seats. So I was the only one sitting on that row of seats. So at least I had like enough space for me to sleep and whatever it is I had to do. So we left Dublin, and yes, we got to the United States of America, the Dulles. Is it Dulles or Dulles? The Dulles International Airport. Busy. Guys, when we got to the United States, that was when everything clicked. Like, I mean, it clicked on the plane. It clicked being on that plane. But when I got to the States, when that cold hit me, when I saw the environment, it was in that moment I realized, yes, this is America. It was in that moment I was like, wow. So this is me in the famous America. Like this is me living that dream. Like a roller coaster of emotions. I was like, wow. I just in that moment I just said, Father Lord, thank you. Like I meditated. I was like, God, thank you for bringing me this far. Thank you for giving me something that in the longest amount of time, or in my widest imagination, I would have never even thought that this was going to happen to me. But it happened to me. So I was like, Father Lord, I am entirely grateful. See, guys, this code kissed me, like the code dealt with me. So when we left the plane, like we had like for newcomers into the country, or for first timers into the country, you had your own site you go to. For green card holders and for green card holders and US citizens, they had their own site to go to. Guys, pardon me for the noise. I don't know, but just pardon me for the noise. So, like, yeah, green card holders and and those who were citizens, they had their own side which they go to, and then first timers, yes, into the country, they had their own side they went into. So yes, I went to the side for like the first timers into the country. And yes, guys, so I sat in that spot for about 2 hours or so before someone could attend to me. But guys, this is really much about my relocation story, and not to miss out on, try as much as possible not to miss out on the next video, because I will be telling you guys about my airport experience, like everything that transpired within the custom officer, and yes, me finally leaving the airport and getting to my host's house. So guys, thank you so much, thank you so much for the love. This is all I had for you on this video. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much, and yes, make sure you wait for the next video. Make sure you hit on the notification bell so you can see that video. Thank you guys so much. Yes, and see you all on my next one. Bye.